welcome back to the Coalition Friends YouTube channel. My name is Garrett, and today I have to review a movie that if you can't tell, I'm going to be talking about the Rise of Skywalker. I mean, I liked it. I'm not saying it's...
Rise of Skywalker is my least favorite of the 9 core saga films.
Or that it's that. I mean, variety. What the heck? No. But it's not the worst. Not the worst movie I've seen in 2019. Not the worst Star Wars I've seen. If you follow me on my movie review Instagram at Odin Reviews, you will see me going through all of the Star Wars, and that's my plug for the day. Just to get it ahead of this, this is not an intentional spoiler review. I'm going to put a spoiler warning just in case I do say anything and I don't catch it in editing. And I don't want any predisposed or I don't want any bias going into this for you. I want you to see this clean as a slate, because I think watching reviews gives you a bias in your head that it's supposed to be bad, it's supposed to be good. Same with the Rotten Tomatoes aggregation score. So yeah, but let's jump into it. This was a mess. The reason why this is a mess is it's a lot of trying to fix what I thought was really good in The Last Jedi. Yes, Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams don't know how to say yes to each other's ideas, and it really shows in this movie because J.J. is trying to fix stuff that Rian did, and it's not good, y'all. First of all, it's a 4-hour movie in a 2.5-hour long time span, which really isn't good. The first half hour is so fast. Literally the opening thing is a montage that should have been like a third of a movie, like an act, part of like a big chunk of a movie, and no, we'll show it in montage if you know what I'm talking about. If not, I'll get to it in spoilers when I do that review. And like the opening scene with their heroes and their getaway in that, Poe Dameron's character arc in the previous movie is gone. They just rescinded whatever, they reseated his character backwards. I don't really like that. It's a lot of fan service. Force Awakens in this movie are really, really safe. They're for the fans. And what hurts this movie is like Finn just becomes a friend. He's a sidekick. Who cares that he was a stormtrooper? Like, forget that. Rey is so overpowered in this movie to an unbelievable extent that I just believe JJ wanted to show everything with the Force that he could, and who cares if it's been X amount of time and she shouldn't know this. She's going to do it anyways. Now let's go to some goods. I think the world building when they go to this one planet where there's a festival having, and you get to see like what the festival is and like the culture a little bit, and you get this like really sweet touching moment between Rey and one of the inhabitants of that planet. I really like that. The third act, really like it. It gets a little crazy at times, but I like what they're going for. I liked the thematic elements. I liked how they tied all 9 movies together. I like that you also get tie-ins from the television shows in this movie. Like, things matter that a lot of people just dismiss because it's made for children and it's not for adults, so like why watch it, even though it pays off in this movie in my opinion. Not fully, but you know, you get some payoff. And there's some nostalgic stuff that's really good that anyone who's a Star Wars fan would recognize, which is fine. That's what The Force Awakens did. That's why people also like it and hate it. It reminds them of the original trilogy, and it reminds them of the original trilogy. And this movie does the same thing. It just goes back to places that we know and love, just to try and make the movie better. It doesn't. It really doesn't. most of the fan service in this movie is what makes it so cringy and not fun to watch. When stuff happens and it's just groan worthy, you're just, why are they doing this? This is a bad choice. The movie looks beautiful, I'll give it that. As time goes on, you're gonna have better digital stuff, and you can just make amazing looking worlds. Amazing. I said this in my trailer reaction, like the water looks really cool, really real. Does it pose a threat? No. Do the first two acts pose a threat? No. Do people become bitches? Yes. Who cares about characters and what they were doing in the previous movies before? We don't fear them. We don't care about them. I really liked what they did with Kylo Ren's character. Really enjoy everything he does in this movie. I enjoyed the cameos that we had in this movie, because there are some, I'm not going to say who, but they're there, and I really, really like them. Okay, the villain. Emperor Palpatine was not the villain at the beginning. I don't care who says if there are hints at the plans of that. No. This was an addition because Rian Johnson killed Snoke, and we didn't know what to do yet because we had 2 setup movies, and then we have to finish it, even though we could have had a 10th movie, and everyone would have been like, oh, another Star Wars. That's fine. This is a really hard movie to review as an actual trying to review it. Script-wise, while I was watching this, I get where they were going for. It doesn't stick the landing. It's fast-paced, but in the way that your plot is rushed and it's not cohesive. You'll go from one planet to another, and this first planet stuff will not go into this planet stuff, and they're just kind of separate vignettes a little bit, and you don't get an impact of a scene. There is stuff that happens in the next scene, it's reversed, and watching this, you feel a little bit of emotional weight, but then it's gone, and it's like there's no payoff. Nothing really gets a payoff in the first 2 acts when a couple characters actually talk between each other, 2 different scenes happen, and then characters are pushed forward. Then you start caring because there's actual character development, and there's actually a reason to want these people to survive when change who they are. I think they got Leia pretty well in this movie. They really captured and used Carrie Fisher's scenes that she previously filmed really well. Will it hold up in 20, 30 years? I'm not sure, but it was just a really nice send-off for 1, Leia, and 2, Carrie Fisher. I'm really glad they did that. And some characters that are well-liked and well not, they get to take a backseat in this, and that annoys me a little bit. Guys, in the end, Rise of Skywalker is a mixed bag of a lot of good things, a lot of mediocre things, and a lot of really bad things that just sour the mood. You could have a really good scene, and this fan service will happen, and it just ruins that whole scene. The first 2 acts, really the first act itself is really rushed. Second act doesn't have a lot of focus. Third act is where it's really good. The character development is kind of there. And you want to have another movie because it just feels like it's a middle movie at times. There's stuff, first 2 acts, maybe the first half of the movie should have been its own movie. The second half could have been its own movie, an actual finale where you could have drawn things out, maybe not have made it seem so rushed. You could have really focused this movie, and it doesn't. It doesn't have a good focus, and I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because that's how I feel about it. So thank you for watching this review. This is really my first big time trying to actually review a movie, and I really hope you enjoy this. And if you like to give a like, if you want to see more, hit subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.